My name is Veronika, and I come from TTK University of Applied Sciences. I am an instructional designer, and my colleague Sille maybe will introduce herself.
Yeah, I am also instructional designer working in Tallinn Technical University.
And we have a joint presentation, so I will start sharing the screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. And we would like to talk about the practical part of this digital education quality and the quality label of e-courses, the system that we have in Estonia from 2008, the contest and the possibility to bring out the best practices of digital learning and to share the experience with each other between university in Estonia, different universities. And before we continue with this practical criteria, quality criteria, and examples of the courses, we would like to maybe tackle Leah's question about the motivation part. She asked what are the key factors that maybe, I don't know, disturb our teachers to implement the good quality digital learning and the tools or pedagogical methods, innovative methods. As we work with teachers directly as designers and educational technologists, we see the problems maybe the most, and also the problems on the institutional level. And the first problem that we see with teachers, maybe Sille can correct me, but in our universities, lack of time, of course, and the big workload of teachers beside this digital education and additional skills that it needs, but also lack of the skills they need, both technological and pedagogical skills that are needed. And for some teachers, it's a lack of motivation. They don't understand why is it so important. So I think that these would be three main obstacles or reasons why not to implement this digital education at a good quality level. And that's why most of our educational institutions have hired instructional designers and educational technologists, because we work at the institutional level. And actually, we work together with the management to provide ideas for general digital learning strategy in the institution. So we provide the input, most of it actually, and the certain steps how to implement the strategy in the institution. And yes, that's why we are working with both parts, with the management and with the teachers. So we have practical part and also a strategical part. And to continue with our today's presentation, we will talk about the course design in general, but based on the quality criteria that we have developed centrally in Estonia. But also every institution has a free will to develop their own criteria and levels of digital education quality or courses on course level. So, for instance, our university and Sille's university, we have three different levels of digital e-courses or digital support that teachers can use, the first, the second, and the third. And in our university, the third level is the top level, the level of the digital quality label. And it's not obligatory, but we have the second level that is obligatory to every teacher who is working full-time in our university. And this system has been implemented from the last year in our university. Maybe Sille can talk about her system a bit.
Our e-learning standard was, I think, accepted 2017-18 e-learning standard. I don't remember what year, but before pandemic, for sure. And yes, if we want to update that, it's because we will tell management that these or these criteria need to be updated. So we created that, our center created that, and we keep it up to date, because sometimes we understand, okay, this point or criteria is now changed because of we change all the time. So yes, it's cooperation between two parties.
And your system was a good example for everybody in Estonia, because you were the pioneers, the first ones who implemented this level system and the development program for teachers, so they can participate in this course development program. We also have the same program, so teacher can apply to us, to instructional designers, and we together in cooperation develop the courses at the top level. It's again not an obligatory, but just a possibility to make top courses. It's a third level. Yeah.
We also had the same idea in the beginning, but now we understand that actually, like these program heads, or how to say that, program heads, program heads are actually sending the courses that need help. We of course always understand that from the beginning, but the big headline is that come voluntarily and be motivated and want to upgrade, and it should be self-motivated, but we understand quite often that sometimes
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Actually, we have the same situation with the second level, which is obligatory, and they actually have to achieve the second level. It's not the top, but still it's quite a big challenge for them. And yes, it's a question of outer motivation from the management a bit. It should be like this as well, otherwise it doesn't work completely.
And it's a nice introduction, because if we show the matrix in our presentation, then you might think that it's so complicated. How will someone have time to understand all the criteria and questions and like what needs to be done there? That's why there's so much support for the course authors. That's how they can do it. It's a little bit bureaucratic, but it's been helped in every way.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to stress it, because the support system is very, very important inside the institution. And if we continue, our evaluation criteria, we have for the evaluators, we have 21 criteria of course evaluation. It's a top level of quality label. And you can later see our presentations and all the links in Google Classroom, which we will show you a bit later. So don't worry, you will get all the links. But the matrix that was that Sille was talking about is actually can be found in this Google Classroom page, and it's the one that for evaluators consisting of 21 criteria. You can zoom it in and watch later, I think. And also we have a guideline, a guide for creating a high quality e-course for teachers. It's available in Estonian already since 2012, I suppose, in online version for free for everybody. It's based on ADDIE model. Also, the criteria are based on the same model. So we have like some steps while you develop the course, not only e-course, but it's very good. It's very well suitable for the e-course development. It's ADDIE model, the process of analysis, planning, learning process, development, the course conducting, the course assessing, and then you go like in a cycle back to analysis and redevelopment. So you improve the course all the time. And this guideline are made for teachers, but we also use it as a work tool together, working with teachers. And as Leah said before, we implement student-centered approach and outcome-based learning. Those are key principles in those quality criteria. And also we pay attention to student support and the development of self-regulation skills while conducting an e-course or blended course. So we support the students in every way. We try to do it. And the digital environment also help us. Digital tools help us in doing so. So those parts are included in this quality criteria metrics, or list of them. And today we will discuss just some of those criteria. We will show the examples in the frame of courses, how those criteria are being implemented in the courses, how we evaluate them. And we think that those are very important criteria. That's why we chose those, some of them, maybe 4 or 5, I don't remember exactly, out of this 25. And we will show how to find this evidence of the fulfillment of this criteria on the course, because we've been working as evaluators for a long time before we became members of this quality working group. So now we are working with the evaluators as mentors. So we still deal with this evaluation process. And also we talk about, in the frame of this criteria, how the author of the course, the teacher, can build this kind of course. What tools can he or she use to meet those quality criteria? And we will focus on Moodle courses. I think that most of us use Moodle today in digital learning. And if there is any other environment, then actually they are very similar and you will understand the basics still, I think. So Sille, I will give the floor to you, the first criteria.
So the first criteria is the basis of everything. This is what takes most time to analyze and to create when you're a course author. And these are helpful points, like things what we look when we evaluate this course. Are the learning outcomes written learner-centered? It's necessary, otherwise the learner, when they are too general, the learner will not understand what needs to be done in this course. So, but if they don't know what they have to do concretely, then it just fades away. The second thing is that sometimes the young professors, they might get the course that's already been developed, and they don't know how to change it. So then we show them the Bloom's taxonomy, and the Bloom's taxonomy will help them to write specific and measurable learning outcomes. If the learning outcome is not measurable, then it's again too vague and will not be understood. And one thing that's not written anywhere, but what we follow, is that one ACT is one learning outcome. If I will see a course that gives you only 1 credit, but has, like, I don't know, 6 learning outcomes, I can understand that the course author wants to teach everything what they know, but is it possible within a short amount of time? So then we understand there's some kind of imbalance. And here's an example how we do our work. First, we read the course main aim, and then we read the learning outcomes, and we see, are they written from the learner-centered point of view or not. And on the second slide, here, if someone doesn't know what's the Bloom's taxonomy, here's a visual of that. Sometimes what happens also that we get the course and we read that is a bachelor degree course, but all the learning outcomes are maybe for a student to create something like too high level, maybe. So or sometimes the master degree will only have to remember. The students only have to do the test and remember, and not do anything complicated. Analyze, no analyzation. Only just repeated tasks, then we also understand maybe you could update your syllabus for a little bit higher level. So this is a really nice tool if you don't know how to rewrite your learning outcomes. All right. Did you have any questions? Veronika, you are on mute.
Okay, thank you. There is a question in the comments.
Oh, there is. Okay. How do you find out that the learning? If first of all, they have to be written that the student knows. Student will write, analyze, apply. Student understands something. So they're written in a way that the student understands. But did I understand the question?
Yes, thank you. In fact, I was expecting that you would say that assessment components and criteria would be the main indicator of the student-centered learning and the methods as well, because in fact, it's still a huge problem in Georgian academia. We have of course, we mention student-centered learning on many levels in our accreditation standards as well, but in fact, we don't really know what it is. And we don't know how to measure it. So that's why I asked this question, because for me, it's usually teaching methods and assessment methods that show that it's really student-centered learning that is used. On the other hand, if we have the frontal lectures and students don't do anything during the whole course, throughout the course, but listening, and maybe at the end of the course they have just an oral examination, it's a good evidence of non-student-centered learning. And yes, but okay, yeah. Thank you anyway.
But the thing what you can do is that you can make a table for your course author teachers. First, you write the thing what you will evaluate, and then you write like what the student has to do exactly. So you have the learning outcomes are written. Then the thing, let's say exam, test, picture, you have to synthesize something, make a simulation, whatever, and then you write exactly like what the learner has to do. If this is written down, then the course author knows what's happening, and the student will also understand. If it's too general, then it's really hard to evaluate and later on prove that the student knows something.
We will talk about it a bit later. The first criteria was about making those learning outcomes just in words, but then we will go to a learning process as well. Okay. So the criteria number 4, we skipped some of the criteria and introduced the criteria number 4, the learning activities and assessment principles, the same thing we were talking about, support the achievement of the learning outcomes. So it's a separate criteria that we evaluate, and we also pay attention to when we design a course. So we actually see those learning outcomes again. So the picture on the right is a screenshot from learning outcomes from the course. You will also can see a bit later, it's a public course. And we read those learning outcomes, and then we see what kind of learning activities could help students to achieve those learning outcomes and if they are being implemented on the course. So as a teacher, I have to think about the learning activities. Usually we work together with the instructional designers to find the better methods or learning activities to implement, but in many cases, teachers think themselves what kind of activities to implement. And those activities can be both for summative assessment and for formative assessment, like support of the learning process in general, what kind of activities help to achieve learning outcomes, to practice, maybe go to labs or somewhere else and group works, and so on. And some of them are not being graded, but still are obligatory, for instance. And summative assessment will also choose the best way to measure the achievement of learning outcomes. So if the student has to demonstrate something, how he can analyze or identify something, so we have to choose the right activity for that. Is it a quiz or an oral exam or a presentation or a product he has to create, or something else? And of course, we have to use rubrics or assessment criteria and levels if it's a course with a mark or the minimum level of achievement of learning outcome, if it's like passed or failed grading system. So we actually, in the study program, we have to fix everything, to write down what are the rubrics for getting the grade, I don't know, A, B, or C, or the pass or fail the result. So we do this, and there are some examples. First of all, I will show the course syllabus, how we explain everything and write it down from one course. All the information should be provided there. Objectives, outcomes, and the assessment and grading policy. What kind of activities and what level should be accomplished. And the description in different levels to this assessment criteria. And this work is done together with the instructional designer, usually, if it's a very big one, the course program is big. In a short way, yes, they put some essential things, but usually something always missing, so we have to check it and add some information, and the weekly plan. So it's quite a big work at the beginning, but later it's easier for teachers. And if we go to this course, what kind of activities can we use in, for instance, in Moodle course? There are some interactive activities with automated feedback can be used, quizzes, and also interactive videos, flashcards, and so on. So let's see. So those are used usually for formative assessment, the automated feedback for learning, assessment for learning, not for grading. So students can practice, and it should be very common that while you are learning, making mistakes is very good, so you learn actually. That's why the automated feedback is very appreciated while you're learning. And it can be implemented in blended learning very, very well. For instance, here we have interactive video. Load a bit. So we have questions already on the video, and the video will stop and ask you a question. So you have to think while you're watching the video and reflect. So this is one example of this formative assessment that can be used. And for summative assessment, in online learning, mostly quizzes are used, but also some kind of examinations and oral exams are in smaller universities or institutions are being implemented as well, and peer assessment and so on. Okay, do we have questions?
Yes, we have questions.
How long? No, not 10, 15 pages. Usually it's if you fill the obligatory form in our study information system, then it's up to 2 pages usually that teachers fill. But if you go to the top level course, then we add some additional information in course development program. Usually we demand the assessment criteria, of course, the goals and learning objects, and the timetable, somehow like weekly plan or something. And if it's a lecture or an independent work, and also the hours, how they are, how many hours for the lectures, and just basic things for students.
Yeah, I would say like 4 or 5 pages, but not.
It depends, yeah. No, 15, yes. This was the top course, actually, that I was showing. How can you develop? Okay. But then let's return to, I also had the example of this Tallinn Technical University course program, this additional table that Sille was talking about that teachers should fill. So the assessment method, criteria, and the connection to the learning outcome. We are doing it similar way, but maybe not in the form of this kind of separate table, but directly in the study information system. It's not obligatory, but there is a possibility actually to fill this form. So you describe the method, then criteria, and what learning outcome it refers to. This kind of example. And if you would like to have this kind of table or form, you can ask Sille. Maybe she can share it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, we can share our this syllabus template and
Yes.
And all the information what goes in there. And then you will see how long can you make it, because if you write something really specific, then it goes longer.
Exactly. Okay. So Sille.
And this is a criteria that we choose to talk about. It's a question like, do the technological tools support the learning process? It's it's a nice criteria, because what I have understood is that we could use almost unlimited tools for digital teaching, but are all the tools that you add to your course, do they justify themselves? Sometimes when I open a course, I can see it's all nice, shiny, and like clickable and everything, but sometimes the tools are actually not necessary for the learner. They're just for almost like entertainment. So you have to think like everything what you add to the course, you have to think does it have a purpose? So on the next slide, I just added some examples. So we have some core tools in Moodle that are core, like quizzes, assignments, forums, workshops. They're nice tools, and they all have, even like these core tools, you don't have to add them to every course. You have to understand why you're added. If you have really many seminars and lectures, and you talk with your students all the time, maybe you don't have to add many forums also. Forums are needed, of course, when you have this online course, 100% online course, and asynchronous learning. But maybe sometimes course authors want to show that what are their skills, but they are not helpful for the learner. So yeah, here's just a list of things that we use. Do you know all of these tools, or do you want me to explain? If you don't, if a name doesn't ring a bell, then you can tell me.
There is a raised hand also.
Yeah, just ask.
Ramona?
Yes. What is H5P?
Okay, I can demonstrate. It's a free tool. Yeah.
This is something that we talk a lot in our presentation, because this is like the most popular interactive tool. It has many different these question types that you can use. And the previous example was also made with H5P.
It's integrated to Moodles usually by default.
So if you have Moodle, then you usually have it.
And if you don't, it's actually a separate platform, h5p.org. You can see the examples and using scenarios here. And if you have a server possibility, you can install it to your server as well. It's open source.
and really useful for just for a learner to check what they know.
Yeah, for self-learning.
Yeah, and probably the last one I wrote is AI tools. I think these are coming this year. They are slowly growing, but I think this upcoming year we will see more Moodle courses with chatbots and assignments with AI tools. So this is probably the future. And right now, the course authors are already using these tools. And maybe the next slide. So here I'm doing example again about the same idea. Are all the tools? It's just one tool. The tool name is progress bar. It's on the right side. So if you have few assignments, let's say 8 assignments, then it's understandable. But if there's another example of a course where the course authors has made many progress bars, and then it's just confusing, I think, in the end. Because if you haven't decided what do you want to use in your course, then it confuses the student and also like professor or the teacher to understand what, because they like this part because then they can see back what the student is doing. But if it's just too many tools to check, then it confuses you and your student.
Yeah, we don't have any. Okay.
Yeah. I have sleep. I can, yeah. You can continue.
Yeah. So next criteria is number 11. It's about educational materials that we have to produce while making a course. And those materials should follow the best practices of the creation of digital learning materials. And in Estonia, we have also guidelines for creating digital learning materials, some quality criteria that's been established also at the same time, maybe 2011. Right now they are being updated already, but the basics are still the same. So depending on the type of the materials, we have a bit different quality criteria or suggestions. For instance, for text and presentations, we have some clear structure suggestions, consistent design and user-friendly design. Pedagogical approach should be followed in textual materials as well, but also correct citing. And for videos, beside the technical quality of audio, it's very important. Also the length of videos. We also try to follow that not more than 15 minutes, maybe for video lecture. We're trying to follow that. Of course, it's not always possible, but still, we can divide video into smaller parts. Also the style, intros, outros, pedagogical approach, structure, and the accessibility aspects are also being added to our quality criteria recently. For instance, videos should contain subtitles, and today it's very easy to develop them with the help of AI tools and video editors. Also, alt text for images in Moodle is very convenient to add the explanation of the images that are being used in learning materials, also adding of metadata of files, for instance, the size of the files and the type of the files, the author, the date it was created. Also, try to follow in text mostly or presentation the color schemes and the contrast. Actually, PowerPoint has already integrated feature to check your accessibility aspects. So you have this add-in there that is in every PowerPoint, I think, today. So you can go through this and see what colors should be maybe improved or using of headings or something like that. So PowerPoint can check the accessibility already. And for images, also citing is very important. And also we use more and more different packages or web pages integrated into Moodle or as a separate web pages. So full learning objects, interactive learning objects or textbooks of one big topic, for instance, that has a clear structure. And the pedagogical design, so you have one big module or topic that is arranged in a skate model. Use the skate model, like you have a scope or introduction in the material, then you have this content part, then some kind of interactive activity with automated feedback, for instance, then maybe thinking activity or reflecting activity, and then some extra materials or links. So this kind of structure in learning materials is very appreciated. And some examples of different materials as well. For instance, if we have a text material of many pages, it has to have a table of contents interactive, even it's in a form of PDF still. The metadata about this material, when it was created, by who is the author, or maybe it's just a school, but the name of the author could also be very, very good here. And the clear structure and headings should be used for the reading of different devices of disabled people or students if they are reading it. Links are clickable and citing is here. Moodle lesson is the Moodle tool that is also being used for interactive learning with automated feedback. So you have parts that have content, introduction part, then content part, and then some reflection or assessment activities here. So the module 1 is an introduction part, then you have some self-test, for instance, you have to answer, and then you can continue to the next slide. So you have to answer correctly to go there, and then you have the content part. You watch the video, you do what you have to do, read something else, and then continue. So the tool is called Lesson in Moodle, and it's for interactive lessons or textbooks. You may call them differently, but it's a very interactive learning, self-paced learning for students to support the activities in Moodle. So this kind of traditional videos, but I wanted to point out that they have all intros and outros in a common way for the entire course. They have a special design. This is from MOOC, but still you can consider these intros and outros, and our instructional designers are helping to add them if teachers can't. In case of presentations, we also have to follow the slides design. So in case of Tallinn Technical University, the logos and the same metadata is being appreciated, but also headings and the content, how is it presented. We also try to evaluate when we're evaluating the courses. And this is the example of this package or SCORM package, how you call it. Some of our universities have purchased a program called Articulate 360, which allows to create fully interactive learning objects with the structure, like mini courses, you call them. So they can have content of different types, text, videos, whatever you want, audios, but also tests, quizzes, drag and drop assignments with automated feedback. So it's a kind of a nice tool, but there are also alternatives, free alternative. For instance, H5P also has similar tool called Interactive Book, and it's totally free. So you can use this kind of full textbooks. Yes, that's it from this criteria. Yes, I can see in the comments that somebody has tried Articulate Giga. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have the same issue. It is expensive, but we are all, our center is using one account. All the instruction designers are using one account.
We have two. Yeah, we have two accounts. You don't have to buy for every teacher. Mm-hmm. And we have one general account, like institutional account, so everybody can look in and when they are developing. Yeah, you don't have to buy for everybody. Yeah, please, Sille.
Mm-hmm. And next criteria is about the learning. Are the learning materials the learning materials support the interaction between the learner and the content. So the main, most popular interactive tool that we use is H5P, but also it's possible to use MATLAB. That's for programming and mainly used by engineers. Stack questions. I think Veronika knows more about that. Our university also uses it, but your school is making all the trainings about that. Our professors are coming to learn at your trainings. So the Stack is like automated assessment tool that helps to for mathematics and computer scientists. They use it quite often. And last is the GeoGebra. And I haven't used that tool before, so that's why I made the example. I was searching for examples, and this is an example, and I am the one who is, figuring out what simulation is doing. So this is mainly a tool for mathematics. Which tool do you mean?
Articulate.
Yeah.
It was
exactly. It was the previous example that you can make a course inside of the Articulate, export it out, import it to Moodle, and then the Moodle course looks nicer than the usual Moodle courses look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then on the next slide, I just went and looked for some H5P examples and made a video of that. So professors can add the questions inside of the video, or they can make the questions. This example was an interactive book, so you can add everything together. And, there are a few examples what you can do there. And it's
an alternative to Articulate, as I've mentioned. Yeah, you see there is also table of contents on the left.
Yeah, and you can give automated feedback, so the students can learn on their own pace. And of course, the tools are unlimited. These are just few examples. You can link outside, and sometimes this. Why we choose this criteria, because it's hard to evaluate. It's such a hard point to understand. Is there any interaction between the learner and the material or not? Sometimes once we had a course submitted to us, and the course, the main action was going on outside of the Moodle course. Actually, the course author was teaching in a blog, written blog posts, and the students had their own blogs and writing feedback or homeworks as a blog post, and then commenting each other. The interaction level itself was really high, but it was hard to see it on the course. So the teachers and the course authors who think outside of the box, these are really hard to evaluate, because they just you have to understand. You can't just click, oh, is that criteria done or not? It's not just black and white thing. You have to understand what's been taught and really click everywhere and do your work. So if you're too superficial or grading superficially, then you might not understand the point of the course.
Okay. Okay, it's one of the last criteria and last for today. It's 19. Learners are given feedback on their strengths and weaknesses, and they progress. So this is actually also a hard one, because the courses we usually evaluate, we often cannot see the process of getting feedback, because very often it is being given in the classroom or in different kind of forms, in blended learning, in case of blended learning. But there are some tools that enable us to see and do it in Moodle as well. And we also try to explain those methods to our teachers, that some activities can be done better or effectively in Moodle, and the feedback can be also given in Moodle. For instance, when students assess each other or give feedback to each other, there is a perfect tool for that in Moodle. It's called Workshop. And actually, students like it because it's a part of an active learning when students evaluate each other's works based on criteria given by teachers. So the tool supports it very well. But of course, we use traditional feedback by the teacher in individual assignments in Moodle, or group works in forums, comments from the teacher sometimes provided, and lots of automated feedback for the formative assessment part, but sometimes for the exams as well. We use quizzes, so it's a automated feedback. And rubrics we suggest to add rubrics, but it's a hard work to do for teacher. We understand that not everybody uses rubrics. In Moodle, it's enabled in forum, for instance, in assignment. You can add automatic rubrics, and then evaluation process is much quicker for the teacher as well. You just click on the rubric like matrix if it corresponds or doesn't correspond to this criteria or that criteria. It's very convenient. And there are some examples as well from the course that is not publicly available to you at the moment, but just to demonstrate different activities and the feedback forms that can be used. For instance, in lesson, I have showed you already, there is a quiz integrated, so it's automated feedback. But for forum, it's a public place where students can discuss something, and actually you can give also feedback there. You can give sufficient, not sufficient. As a teacher, you can comment. Students can comment each other, so it can be a multi-level activity. And also besides forum, there is a quiz. A quiz is also a Moodle tool with automated feedback. And this kind of quiz is under every topic or forum. So it's for self-checking, not for grading, I suppose, but it should be done. So the teachers follow that it's answered, and the percentage is quite high to pass it. So it shows you that you have been studying. And for summative assessment, you use different thing. So you can see the private assignment as well. And here you can give, teacher can give feedback privately by grading and giving the feedback in Moodle. Here you can see the rubrics that is integrated in Moodle. So you can also comment and select the level of completion of this assignment together with comment. It's very easy to evaluate when you have those rubrics in Moodle. And you are using them, actually, because they are already there. You have to use them. Okay. And the example of public course, you will see it yourself a bit later. We have those links on the slides as well. So they have only H5P, and the grading was done somewhere else. We don't know where. Okay. And those are screenshots. And I think we have done with our criteria. Maybe you have some questions before we go to our homework description and the classroom.
Yes, we have one question. So
yeah.
We check everything. We check the Moodle activities and also the syllabus. We see it as a whole. We don't only look answers from the syllabus. We try to understand everything.
We also go through self-evaluation of teacher, because teacher also evaluated course, his or her course, the same criteria, and his or her comments as well. So we
also students.
Students' feedback as well. Yeah, it's also very important input to us. So if student says that actually everything worked and it was perfect, then we have to believe him, even if we don't find the evidence.
Yes, Giga.
Yeah, thank you. So I have actually two questions. They are like more technical ones, but I guess you're speaking about your experience when it comes to internal quality assurance, but how it is managed when there is an external quality assurance, when the site visit is done, for example, at your universities. Do the experts go through this and check all these details, or how it is done in practice? This is one question. And another is like, are you like an individuals at your institutions, or are you part of the centralized unit at the university level? So when it comes to structure of the university.
If we are part of central, I will answer this.
Yeah, I can.
So it's Office of Academic Affairs.
Same.
Okay.
So I work for the Department of Economics, but I belong. So I might have two different workload from two different sites. That sometimes happens, but not often. So department doesn't pay me. I have to follow my own hierarchy process.
Okay.
For the first question, if I may start, and maybe Veronika and Sille, you will add something. It's from the external quality assurance perspective, we expect the universities to have their own internal system in place and explained and analyzed during this process. And the experts for the study visit, they have access to the sample of e-courses. So they can have a kind of overview what's happening, but they believe the internal quality assurance system, if this is in place and takes into account the quality criteria also at the course level.
Yeah.
I've been just as a participant when there was an external evaluation. The question of digital learning was like delegated to me to answer to experts' questions, and that was it actually.
I haven't been part of this.
Okay.
So I have nothing to add.
Okay, but thank you for listening, and now we will continue with our homework, and the details are being presented more carefully in our Google Classroom space, but in general we will ask you to form university-based groups of 3 people. So if you have maybe more participants from one university, you can form 2 groups maybe in your university, among our participants in our project. And then each group should choose one web-based or blended course from your university that you could actually assess based on our quality criteria that are also being shared in Google Classroom. I will show you. And also the assessment form that you can fill. Actually, each group should fill in one form for one course. And if you would like to share with us what are you doing and to demonstrate these courses that you are evaluating to us as well, so we could also evaluate them together with you, but separately, so we can then compare our results maybe in our May 7th session, for instance, and yes, discuss it a bit, so you can do it as well. We also have provided this form or the sheet that you can fill and share this information with us, the course links and maybe some passwords or keys if you provide them. And you should do it, the evaluation part of it by the May 2nd. Then we can see your results and also evaluate them a bit and prepare for our next session for discussion. And when we meet, or for you as well, you also have to prepare maybe some key points based on your evaluation experience, maybe some positive sides and depressions from this course, bring out some 3 up to 5 strengths, or also the 3 up to 5 areas for improvement in this course you've been evaluating. And also for the discussion, maybe just for preparation, maybe you can write them down somewhere or discuss with each other the 3 key topics related to digital learning quality that, in your opinion, need the most attention from the state or university point of view. So the deadline would be our next session on May 7th. So this is a brief description, but you can read it further here in Google Classroom. So I see that only 3 students have enrolled, and that's okay, because we were planning to invite you together today to our Google Classroom. And the address where you can join our class is classroom.google.com. And you should enroll as a student using the code, class code. You can try it right now and let us know. Yes, Sille posted also the link of the course, so you can go directly. If you have some technical problems, I suggest to use private Gmail address, because we also couldn't enroll it with the institutional Gmail. It's a different space for Google Classroom, so it supports private Gmail addresses. For those who don't have them, yes, it may be a problem, but we can maybe create, or you can cooperate with somebody that has it. Nowadays, most of us usually have private Google Classroom, private Gmail. And let us know if you have some technical issues with joining. I will see the main page of our, there is a code also on the main page of the classroom as well for joining. And let's see how is it going. We have still 3 students. Okay, 4 for now. Let's wait a bit, because our next activity is also on Google Classroom page, where we can vote as a first activity. It is important. Yeah.
Right. If you have some technical issues, then you can ask or write here. Then we can maybe we can solve them.
Yeah. Let us know. Let's see how is it going here. Still 4 students.
Yeah, it hasn't changed.
Okay. But while you're doing it, maybe you can do it later. I don't know. I will make an introduction to this, first of all, stream page, where you can see all the news that has been happening during some periods. But the main resources for you are in the classwork tab on our class, where you can find our presentations, but also the course evaluation matrix, a guide for creating a high-quality course, other useful resources, including links to those example courses that we've been demonstrating that have open access. And also you have the homework part, where is a bit more thorough description of this task I've been introducing earlier, and the links to e-course evaluation form you should fill with your group as well. And if you want to share your course, then there is a sheet where you can type all the details. We also have created a small poll. When you have access to this Google Classroom page, you can answer this poll as well. So it has 2 options. What kind of form of sharing the results you prefer of your activity, of your homework. Would you like to see other group assessment results, or you prefer to share it only with us? And maybe on the 7th May session, we can discuss it, but not share with each other. So it's up to you to decide. If you decide to share it, then we will create a platform where you can share your results. We will do it for you. We can see your results anyway. But if you prefer it private, then we will stay to that. So please answer this poll here. And the deadline for this poll is tomorrow. So I hope by tomorrow you will all join the classroom page. And if you have some problems, then let us know. Our contacts are also on the slides, and probably you will get them separately as well. Do you have questions?
So
Okay, I have problem, but I can't joining.
All right.
What does it say to you? What kind of error?
Nothing.
Or
Just 1
nothing?
second. Nothing.
Okay. Are you trying to join with your private Gmail?
Yes, I tried, but it was mail not found. The respond was.
Okay. I will leave my contact here, and we can add you by your email also manually, so you can write me. Yeah, and I will add everybody who who is struggling with that. This is my private Gmail, so it may be better.
Thank you.
I'm also participating with private Gmail there. So please write me if you have some problems, and I will add you manually. I will try to. Preferably leave your private Gmail.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if you don't have any further questions, our time is up. It was very nice meeting you and discussing with you. And I hope we'll see again online on 7th of May. In the meanwhile, we can communicate via email or through the Google Classroom, how you prefer. We are in touch always. So let us know if you have questions or problems. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And have a nice
Enjoy
day.
the rest of the day. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.